Good afternoon. We'll now start. So I'd like to welcome everybody to this particular pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourselves, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include names of companions attending. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There'll be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk. Please show your face in the video. As a reminder, please take the online learning evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate. The link has already been placed in the chat box. Another reminder, 50 OLETE certificates. After getting 50 OLETE certificates, this will entitle one mentee to a free voucher or to a voucher for a free ROJoson telemedical consultation. Another request will be, please type in your feedback at the chat box during the open forum and before we part ways. And then let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Please show your video, your face in the video. Hello. Everybody, please show your face. Can you hear me, Abet? Abet, is everything okay? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Yes po, Doktor. Naririnig po namin kayo.
Okay. Now let's now have a group picture taking. 1, 2, 3. I have a patient empowerment program in which I like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9 last year, 2021. From October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. This may take 3 years or longer depending on the enthusiasm of the participants. My pep talk today is entitled How to Live a Life with a Cancer Diagnosis. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an understanding of the tactics and how to live a life with a cancer diagnosis, which focus on acceptance and intentional living plan. Actually, this will be a repeat lecture of last week in the Cancer Crusaders Club 35th annual meet with some additions. Okay. This is for the benefit of those who were not able to attend last time. How to live a life with a cancer diagnosis, or how should one live a life after a cancer diagnosis? I'm going to present my personal TPORs, which stands for thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations. When you say after a cancer diagnosis, it just means right after the diagnosis that one is said to truly have a cancer in the body. So right after the diagnosis. And then it will continue on during the treatment, then after treatment, during surveillance or monitoring for recurrences, and then during the time the cancer recurrence has occurred, if it occurs, and then during the end of life stage. It has to be noted that psychological distresses or emotional sufferings can be seen in the following phases of the cancer journey. Number 1, phase of diagnosis. Number 2, phase of treatment, which could be during, right, or soon after the treatment itself. Then number 3, the period or the phase after treatment, especially when somebody is in remission. And then the phase when there is a recurrence, if there will be a recurrence, and then the phase during near end of life stage, okay? If there will be a recurrence and then there will be no control of the recurrence. So this is the reason for this talk of how to live a life with a cancer diagnosis, because I note down all the psychological distresses that all cancer patients have to undergo during the different phases of the cancer journey. How to live a life will be operationally defined as how to live or continue to live a functional and meaningful earthly life after a cancer diagnosis. A lot of times after a cancer diagnosis, people or patients have ceased or have a hard time living a functional, meaning productive, meaningful earthly life. This is mainly due to uncontrolled anxiety and depression, which in turn are due to uncontrolled fear, sadness, personal apprehensions, and psychosocial apprehensions, meaning dealing with other people, apprehensions in dealing with other people. I have identified the following, which I think are key coping tactics against psychological distresses of cancer patients before, and I still hold on to it. So you may want to comment on this if you have some more to add. Number 1, tactic will be acceptance of the cancer diagnosis. Number 2, intentional living plan in the light of a cancer diagnosis. Number 3, trust in a competent and compassionate physician. 4, spiritual trust. 5, support from loved ones and significant others. And then lastly, cancer journey sharing. So this could be another tactic in coping with the psychological distresses of a cancer. Today, I will expound, after mentioning those tactics, which I mentioned already before. Today, I will expound on acceptance and intentional living plan as coping tactics against the psychological distresses of cancer patients. But before anything else, I'd like to emphasize that there must be awareness of the cancer and then acceptance before formulation of the intentional living plan. The intentional living plan is part of the action that has to be taken after acceptance of the cancer. First, awareness. So one must be aware at least of the cancer diagnosis and its prognosis, what are the possible outcomes, with correlation to your purpose and estimated lifespan on Earth. So once you have the prognosis, you can have a rough estimate of your lifespan on Earth, okay? And then you also correlate it with the what are your plans in life, your purpose in life, okay? So after awareness, the next step will be acceptance. Acceptance of cancer has long been recognized as playing an important and critical role in the psychological adjustment to the illness, any illness for that matter, not only for cancer. It is effective in reducing the patient's distress with cancer. So what is acceptance? Let's have some definitions. Okay. Acceptance is an emotion-focused coping that involves acknowledging the reality of the illness, such as cancer, learning to live with it, and and engaging in attempts to address it. This is why there must be acceptance first. I said there must be acceptance first before formulation of intentional living plan. If there's no acceptance, it's hard to form an intentional living plan. Other definitions of acceptance, it's a process of value change by which the patient accepts the losses related to the illnesses while maintaining a sense of self-worth. This process may involve exploring new meanings and possibilities in life based on one's existing values and strengths. Another definition is the willingness to be present with one's illness-related thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations without judging or making unnecessary attempts to control them. Another definition is the realistic way of living with illness. That is, an accepting patient does not judge, avoid, or deny the illness, but continues feasible engagement with everyday activities. Just live on. Acceptance differs from resignation. The other term for resignation is fatalism. For cancer patients, resignation refers to considering the illness as fate or destiny and believing that there is little or nothing one can do to change or control the illness or this cancer, its symptoms, and one's quality of life. In other words, resignation refers to giving up and no longer striving for a fulfilling life. So choosing instead to remain helpless, hopeless, and passive. Research suggests that acceptance is associated with lower anxiety and depression or depressive symptoms, whereas resignation is associated with higher anxiety and depressive symptoms. So this has been shown by a lot of researchers. Acceptance also differs from a fighting spirit. In the context of cancer, having a fighting spirit involves viewing the illness as a challenge, maintaining an optimistic outlook, and working towards beating the disease. Although both acceptance and having a fighting spirit involve taking an active stance, acceptance does not necessarily include efforts of positive reframing or aiming to change the course of the disease. So a lot of times we cannot change the course of the disease, so we just have to accept and then live on. So acceptance of cancer is making peace with the disease. In other words, letting go, but not totally giving up, and accepting the reality of a cancer diagnosis, that it's already there. Acceptance does not mean that anyone is giving up. It allows you to take control of your life and focus on what's important to you. So live on despite a cancer diagnosis. Continue to live a functional and meaningful life. So my foremost advice here is acceptance as the foremost coping strategy or tactic, as this is effective in reducing the patient's distress with cancer. So this is the most important. So after acceptance, the next step will be to make an intentional living plan. This will constitute your plan of action for a meaningful cancer journey. My operational definition, there are a lot of definitions of intentional living plan if you look at the internet. This is my personal definition. So it's a plan you make targeting a certain number of years. You must be guided by the prognosis of your cancer, in which usually the estimated lifespan of the cancer in stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, just be guided by them, but those are just guides. Okay, in which you write down things you intend or want to accomplish on your graduation day, meaning the last day of your targeted year, which will make you feel you have lived your life to the fullest. You have lived a meaningful life. You are contented and ready to die a happy death in case it has to happen. So the assumption here and the reality here will be that all of us will die one day. Nobody can avoid that. But before making an intentional living plan, get the following information from your trusted and compassionate physician. So make an intentional living plan with answers to the following questions in mind. What kind of cancer do I have? Where is the cancer? Has it spread? Can my cancer be treated? What is the prognosis of my cancer? What is the chance that my cancer can be cured? What other tests or procedures do I need? What are my treatment options? How will the treatment benefit me? What can I expect during treatment? What are the side effects of treatment? What happens if I don't get treatment? What is the surveillance plan after treatment? What can I do to prevent my cancer from coming back? And how likely are my relatives, my children, and other family members to get cancer? You also have to consider your loved ones and other questions that might be important in making your intentional living plan. Intentional living plan promotes living with intention, meaning you live a purposeful life. It will be your cancer journey plan. It will be your plan on how to live a life with a diagnosis of cancer and how to live a life, a meaningful and productive life. Here is a template of the intentional living plan. This is my template. As I said, there are a lot of templates that you can use when you look at the internet. Okay. I've been using this since 1994. Okay. So part one of the template will be you put down the name of the owner, the number of years to target for the intentional living plan. Example, okay, my name, my current age at that time, 70, from year 2019 to 2024, with the stretch targets to 2032. And then the age is 70 to 75, stretch target to 83 years old. Then you put down the number of years to target in the intentional living plan, say 5 to 13 years. This is an example for me, okay? And then if which stretch targets, specify the reasons why you want to stretch it to the usual estimated life prognosis. Then part two will be people to include the intentional living plan. So you enumerate the names of other people like your spouse, your partner, your children, and significant others, which you want to include in your plan. Then the legacies, part three is legacies. So if I were to die at a certain age, what are the legacies that I want to leave behind for my family and my community? So be as specific as possible and include a timeline or deadline for you to accomplish these legacies. Part four, for the spouse or partner, okay? So if I were to die, what will I do for my spouse and partner? Place an A if you're not married or you don't have a partner. For my children, again, if I were to die, what will I do for my children? Again, place an A if not applicable. For significant others, what will I do for my significant others? Okay. Be as specific as possible, include a deadline or timeline, place an A if applicable. And then for myself, for yourself, okay. So what will I do for myself during this time? Be as specific as possible. Include a timeline or deadline. Include the following goals as applicable: health, contentment, enjoyment, God or creator, financial matters, career, professional, social, relationship goals, etc. Then the last part of this template will be template of intentional living plan will be on preparing for a happy death, because we know that eventually all of us will go. Okay, so if I were to die at a certain age, what will I do to prepare for a happy death? Meaning, I should be at that point, I should be contented and ready to leave this earth. So be as specific as possible and include a timeline or deadline. So after you have filled up all the 8 parts, No? Then affix your signature and then date of first accomplishment. And then if there will be a review, they'll put down the date, or if you want to update it, put the date for the updating. Having a well-formulated intentional living plan in the light of cancer can contribute to being healthy and not crippled as long as possible, being productive, having a peace of mind, being contented, enjoying life, being happy in life, reaching the realistic longevity targets, and then being ready to face curtain call or death. So my advice is to have acceptance of the cancer as the first step after awareness in living a life with the cancer, so as to be able to live a functional and meaningful and earthly life as long as possible. Make peace with the cancer diagnosis. Let go, but not giving up. Continue to live a functional and meaningful earthly life as long as possible through your well-formulated intentional living plan. I will now have an illustration. I'm glad Chuchi is here. I saw her face. Okay. So this one was done by Chuchi last year. I'm going to use it again for this lecture. I hope you don't mind, Chuchi.
I'm Chuchi Quevedo, and I'm 75 years old. I am a breast cancer survivor and a member of the Cancer Crusaders Club for 37 years. On my first surgery, I was stage 1, right breast. And for my second surgery, 8 months, stage 0 cancer, left breast. What major treatment did I undergo? In both cases, radical mastectomy. No chemotherapy was advised. No, I did not go into depression. I think it was just anxiety. I was 38 years old and I had just given birth to our 4th child. My anxiety was severe and lasted for about a year during my first mastectomy. I believe the support of my husband, family, and friends was greatly felt, so it did not progress to depression. To differentiate depression from anxiety, depression for me is despair and simply giving up, not wanting to face life's problems. While anxiety is feeling of concern for my children in case something worse happens, or feeling angry at God sometimes. I engaged myself in self-pity. I decided to resign from my job in the bank and went into a small business. How did I cope with anxiety? I depended much on my faith. In the beginning, it was not easy. Many negative thoughts came to mind, but I had a community that I got involved in. My companions guided me and always reminded me of God's immense love for all of us. That even this sickness was part of God's love. I just had to entrust everything to our God. I also got involved in the Philippine Cancer Society for a while and Sinag Hospital Volunteers Foundation for more than 30 years. I wanted to reach out to my fellow cancer survivors to tell them that there is hope. Then the Cancer Crusaders Club was established by Dr. ROJoson in 1988. And he invited me to join this club. After some time, the help of Dr. Elsie Lancel was sought due to their busy schedules. Thanks to you, doctors, I dropped Philippine Cancer Society and decided to devote much time with my fellow survivors in Cancer Crusaders Club, with your guidance and support. As far as I can remember, I did not have recurring anxiety after my first surgery. I did worry about a lump that developed near the collarbone, which Dr. Hosson was able to remove, and another lump that appeared on my right palm, which was also excised. My second bout with cancer, which happened only last March, passed like a breeze because I was so ready psychologically and physically. Of course, there was also a bit of anxiety because I'm older, but my heart and mind were already preconditioned. I knew exactly what to expect and what to do. So my advice to cancer survivors, don't keep your emotions to yourself. Join a club or group who will be able to listen to your concerns. Reach out to other patients. You have been blessed, so be a blessing for others. Watch out for signs of recurrence. Have a regular checkup with your doctor. We all know that recently Dr. Hosson's weekly lectures have become another source of empowerment because of our added kaalaman, kakayahan, and kapangyarihan. Last but not the least, pray unceasingly and believe in God's love. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chuchi. Ray, congratulations. No? So Chuchi is a living example of how she has successfully lived a life with a cancer diagnosis. And then after listening to her cancer journey sharing, it seems that everything that I mentioned on the coping tactics were covered. And I'd like to emphasize you mentioned that don't give up. So it's not a resignation, it's just an acceptance. Okay. So summary and takeaway for this particular talk. I have discussed the importance of acceptance as a coping tactic, and I have defined what is acceptance. How does acceptance differ from resignation, from fighting spirit? What is the importance of intentional living plan after acceptance, and what is my template for intentional living plan? As I said, you can have other templates. So takeaway in relation to patient empowerment, be always in touch with reliable medical information on how to live life with a cancer diagnosis. Knowledge is power. It gives power. Use the 4 Ks of patient empowerment, kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions in how to live a life with a cancer diagnosis. So with that, I end my pep talk today, how to live a life with a cancer diagnosis. I hope I have empowered you to have an understanding of the tactics on how to live a life with a cancer diagnosis. I'm just focused on these 2, acceptance and intentional living plan for today. Okay. So let's now have a group picture taking. But before that, let's have a reminder, please take the Olete for Mastery of Learning. And then 50 Olete certificates will entitle one to a free voucher for ROJoson medical consultation. And then please place your feedback in the chat box during the open forum. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the floor is now open for comments, questions, recommendations, addition to the topics that I mentioned, if you have. And then also if you can share also your experience. Okay. Anybody? Okay. No question at the chat box, Abet? Okay. Anybody wants to share? Two Saturdays ago, I think we had a topic on cancer journey sharing in which I flashed the sharing of Christine Joy Legaspi. Christine is here now. Okay. So last time, I don't think she was present, but Christine, I shared your cancer journey last time in the 2 weeks ago, 2 Saturdays ago. No? Okay. Okay. Thank you also for that sharing. Okay.
Thank you po, Doc.
Mm. Magaganda naman yung sharing ninyo eh, no? Okay. So, as I said in my thank you note last Sunday, I won't be able to share everybody's cancer journey sharing kasi marami nag-submit. But I'm sure I appreciate all those sharing. Magaganda. I'm going to share it with other people in the internet. No? Okay. Any questions? Any comments? Any addition to the topics that I mentioned?
Can I share something?
Sure. Go ahead.
It's not only living with cancer patients, but seeing cancer patients, most especially us, the two of us, because you're the doctor, I'm the secretary, and I experienced something that is really horrible. I felt so sad. I have my depression. When Elna, do you remember Elna Perfas?
Yeah.
When she passed away, the day before she passed away, we had lunch together with her two sons, a friend, and me. So kumakain kami ng lunch, and then she's telling me to take care of her kids. Sabi ko, what do you mean? How can I take care of your kids? I'm not their mother. Sabi ko, you still have life to live? Sabi niya, I'm counting my days. No, I'm counting my hours, not days. Sabi ko, bakit? Sabi ko niya, di ba malakas ka? Sabi niya, I know, I'm leaving. Aalis na ako. Kasi sa dami ng pasyente natin, so different stories, different experience, I became closest to them. Most of them very close to me. Kasi yung tuwing magpapa-check up, yung sinasabi nila yung mga nararamdaman nila. And this one particular person, si Elna, was so strange with his son for 15 years. And it was only 1 year na nagkabati sila ng anak nila, tapos namatay din siya within that year. So when she was brought to the emergency room of Manila doctors, he asked for me. I was there during her last moments, nung maputulan na siya ng hilinga. Yung anak niyang bunso, the 14-year-old, was clinging on me. Nakayakap siya, pati yung panganay. So sabi ko, hindi ko rin alam kung ano yung gagawin ko eh. Minsan, sabi ko, being close to the patients are very masakit. Kasi when you get closer to them, And then when they leave, parang ang hirap-hirap mo makakope up kagad. Tapos tatawag sa iyo yung mga anak niya, tapos telling them this and that. Parang sabi ko nga, ang bigat-bigat pala ng responsibility ng isang secretary being close to the cancer patients, not only as a secretary, but as a friend to them. So siguro yung sa'yo, because you're doing the treatment, is different from me, for me, kasi ako more on emotional attachment to the patients. So sabi ko, ang hirap-hirap kasi doon mo makikita how the patients cling on you, how the patients depend on you, and how the patients listen onto what you're going to say. But still, for the 35 years that I was with the Cancer Crusaders Club, I'm always looking forward na ganun pa din. Kaya lang nga siguro for the past 3 years na wala tayong face-to-face, so hindi masyadong nagkaroon ng closeness to the new patients that comes in. But still with the other patients, yung mga old patients, ganun pa din, like sige Ate Rai, sige Ate Chuchi, and also your sister, Benji. Mahirap din pala yung ganun na very attached ka sa mga patients. You wanted to give them space, pero hindi mo din magagawa magkaroon ng space to be close to them because I also learned a lot from them. To be strong, to be decisive, and most especially, to accept things in its proper places. Parang ganun. Mahirap. Pero I always treasure being friends with the cancer patients. Lalo na yung mga pasyente natin, lalo na yung mga patients na member ng Cancer Crusaders Club. They all have different stories. They have the same stories, but the deepest meaning of being with them is something that I cannot ever forget. And it made me more stronger, and it made me more looking at a better future. Yun.
Okay, thank you for that sharing from the point of view of a secretary. Okay, so any comment on that sharing by the other people? Yeah, Chuchi.
Yeah. I think it has become her mission. Kasi parang because she has become very close to us, no? It is part of your mission already. And I'm happy for you because you're able to help other people, in their low moments, diba? So I think it's a good thing. And you can take it, I'm sure. God will give you the strength also to be able to handle it personally and then be able to impart on the patients your love. You're sharing with them your love, yourself, no? Your time. Thank you for that.
Also, to include to that, si Gina Arqueaga and Lai Gabriela Reyes, they were the two who were so very, very close to me also. And Elna Perfas was one. Medyo mahirap din ma-detach din sa mga moments. But I'm so lucky knowing these people, knowing all of you.
Okay. So, Chuchi mentioned about mission. Yan ang mission mo, no? Just like Chuchi has a mission to help other cancer patients, di ba? Okay. So, somehow when she's doing her mission to other cancer patients, may konting attachment, may konting empathy, may konting sympathy rin, di ba? I suppose sometimes you feel anxious and also a little depressed. No, sometimes we're not really 100% strong all the time, di ba? So may mga moments na baka bumibigay, nagiging weak tayo, nadi-depress tayo ng konti, and then we just bounce back, no? Ganon, no? Tama, Chuchi? So when you're dealing with a lot of
Yes,
cancer
no.
patients,
You
then-
come out even stronger than before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just like me, although you mentioned that I am the doctor, I have to confess that when I see patients like may mga cancer patients, I also feel depressed and anxious also at times, no? But I just have to control and then also have to be realistic with the whatever I'm going with the possible outcome, realistic with the possible outcome, and then trying to do the best that I can to help them. No? Okay. So I know I won't be able to save all of them. No? Kaya, yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why I came out, especially last 3 years. No, yung mga cancer journey, I was emphasizing the different phases already. No? Okay, different phases of cancer journey, including yung terminally ill na. No? May mga lessons that we can learn there. No? Because before 2000, we have sharing, but yung sharing namin is usually mga in remission, di ba? Yung mga in remission. No? So this time, we include those people. We know because we know that there'll come a point that some patients will just go through the terminal illness. You know? Okay, you won't be able to save them all. No, okay. So you just have to know what they are experiencing and then learn how to help them. No, okay. So, yon. So may attachment din ako. Okay. So I think everybody has, when even ladies, even Christine, Rochelle, now when you see patients, your relatives have cancer, you also feel you empathize with them, di ba? Okay? Sad din
Right.
yun, di ba? Sad din
Right.
yun, di ba? So sometimes you don't know what to do, di ba? Sometimes because of hopefully with some learning from this pep talk and also the Cancer Crusaders Club, you know how to support them, how to give them moral support, how to give them advices. No? Okay.
Opo.
Tama?
Tama. Tama.
Hmm. So nagdi-differ lang in degree on how you yung attachment mo. No? Okay.
How about you, Ate Raisa?
First of all, I cannot imagine the Cancer Crusaders Club na wala ka, Beth, and of course, Dr. Hoson. You are really the prime movers nitong ating Cancer Crusaders Club. Tama po yun. Tignan natin itong natin as an apostolate, parang mission or ministry. Kasi yung na-experience natin, mas makakapagbigay tayo ng inspirasyon at lakas ng loob para labanan or para nating itong sakit na cancer. So in our case po, pag nakakapag-share yung cancer journey, malaking bagay yon. Yung feeling of fulfillment or parang therapeutic din para sa aming mga naka-experience ng ganitong sakit, yung journey, sa palagay ko maraming nai-inspire sa aming sa experiences natin. So yun po. So ang tingin ko talagang it's an apostolate, a mission, and a ministry itong gawa natin. And maraming salamat sa lahat ng natutunan natin dito sa PEP Talk. Ang dami nating mga information na nakukuha na naging empowered tayo para i-share naman ito sa iba. Sa merong cancer or mga kamag-anak or relatives na taking care of cancer patients. Yun lang.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So let's ask some. No, Rochelle, would you like to share, or you have experience with a cancer patient, Rochelle?
Hi, Doc. Sorry po sa ingay, maingay yung aso namin.
Okay lang.
Yung experience ko lang po is, of course, I pray na hindi po ako magka-cancer because I have a brother, my eldest brother, who died of a lung cancer. So siya po na-diagnosed in Feb, and then he died ng May. So ganun po kabilis. My brother succumbed to depression eh. So once he learned po that he has cancer, hindi na po siya talaga lumaban. Talagang lagi na lang siya nakahiga and all, despite the advice and all. Wala eh, ayaw, parang hindi na talaga, wala na talaga siyang, parang he just waited for his time. Na nakahiga na lang talaga. So siguro kaya ganun kabilis yung nangyayari sa kanya. It was just unfortunate, Doc, that your pep talk came in late. So hopefully, sorry, it's not really to blame, pero marami po kasi ako natutunan sobrang treasure ko po yung na mga natutunan ko dito sa pep talk, and hopefully ma-apply ko talaga. I have to live with it and share it with my family kasi sabi nga hereditary ang cancer. So hopefully with this pep talk I will be able to share the good things and para maiwasan po namin ng buong family namin magka-cancer po ulit. But it was really really depressing na magkaroon po ng cancer sa pamilya. And I admire you po, Doc, and of course Miss Beth, yung ginagawa mo po is really noble. Alam ko ikaw yung secretary ni Doc Joson, but you have this connection with the patients na nakakatuwa kasi of course Dr. Joson is there to give medical advice, but to you yung emotional connection. Sabi nga ni Miss Reyes kanina, it's therapeutic na pagka po may sakit ka, meron kang nakakausap, somehow it relieves the anxiety and yung lahat po ng mga masasakit na isipin ng may sakit. So hats off to you, of course, Doc Joson and Miss Beth sa mission na to na nangyayari. So hopefully mas marami pa po tayong mga tao na ma-reach out at matulungan para ma-inspire po silang lumaban. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you. Okay. Anong cancer diagnosis ng brother mo, if I may ask?
Lung cancer po.
Okay. Anong stage na siya?
Stage 4.
Okay.
When he was diagnosed. Kaya
He was
parang,
advised on the prognosis.
opo, he was advised po, and then parang wala in-advise po siya ng chemo, but he doesn't wanna go to chemotherapy po talaga eh. Sabi niya ganun din naman, magpapakimo ako tapos wala rin mangyayari kasi it's stage 4 already. So talagang nung nalaman po, Doc, talagang tuloy-tuloy na pong bumagsak yung katawan niya.
Yeah. So, but he was able to prepare for his death.
I not really prepared, Doc, kasi talagang wala eh. Hindi, nagpupunta pa kami ng Doc sa PGH just para maano po siya, ma-confine, or ayaw na rin niya. And then PGH advised us to for a hospice treatment na lang po, kumbaga, para may dadalaw na lang dito sa amin to talk to him and all. Hindi rin, nag-ano rin kasi siya yung friend ko, sinabihan daw din siya to reach out to some other cancer patients para at least meron siyang yung parang group ba, makakatulong kasi talaga yung may kausap. Ayaw na talaga niya, Doc eh. Sa kanya mismo yung parang doon ko na na pag sa sayo mismo nangyari and then you do not want to fight at all, wala talagang mangyayari.
Yeah, okay. So, but I want to emphasize one thing here, baka no? So, sabi ko sa inyo, yung before you make an intentional living plan, you ask your doctor what's the prognosis. What is the usual prognosis for such a stage, for such a cancer? No? Okay. So, kung stage 1, 2, 3, medyo okay pa. No? So, you make a well-formulated intentional living plan. No? Or if you're in the stage 4, no, if you know your prognosis is very poor, no? So after acceptance, no, you also make a plan for the remaining years, no? Usually kung stage 4 na siya, like lung cancer, baka 1 year, 2 years, no? Okay, during this time, you still make a plan, but you know that during these 2 years you may go, but you still try to make your life as fruitful as possible. Example, you have to make peace with God, di ba? Okay, so you know that you might be leaving anytime. Prepare yourself for the, if you believe in the after-death life, no? You be prepared, no? Rather than just nakahiga ka lang, no? Wala kang ginagawa, no? So that's what I meant by intentional living plan, even after a poor prognosis na sentence, no? Na ganon, no? You still make a plan, no? Kaya yung mga for the past 3 years, yung mga nag-share doon sa end stage of life, tinatanggap na nila yun eh, no? So just like si Cecil Mendoza Cruz, no? Tinanggap na yan, no? That probably she has only 6 months to live, so she just make a plan out of those 6 months, no? Ganon, no? Okay. So it all depends, no? So you really have to know the prognosis, no? Okay. Wag idekahon na kung may cancer diagnosis, talagang resign ka na. Hindi pwede 'yon, di ba?
Opo,
So,
Doc. Actually, Doc, at that time, I wanted to go to you, dalhin siya para may second opinion kami. But ayaw niya na talaga. Sabi niya, hindi, iyan na talaga, may cancer na talaga ako. Yung ganun ba, talagang complete resignation na yung nangyari sa kanya. Ayaw na niya talaga kaagad.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Depende talaga sa tao, how strong you are. Siguro pagdating sa ganyang sakit. Doc.
Yeah, it all depends on the person's mindset and also personality, no? Okay. But I just want also to say, the moment yung mga terminally ill patients, pinaprank up naman yung relatives, at least the relatives, no? And then the patient, kung kaya niya, no? And then I would usually advise no more yung mga heroic measure, no? Just make an advance directive, prepare a well-living plan, intentional living plan for the remaining years or months, no? Para prepared na siya, na? Okay. Okay. Any more comments, sharing?
May I ask, those cancer patients pwedeng sumagot. Gaano nyo katagal or gaano nyo kabilis natanggap yung nagkaroon kayo ng cancer? Acceptance is, alam nyo na yung result or yung diagnosis sa inyo may cancer kayo. But emotionally, gaano nyo katagal natanggap na may cancer kayo? Not just because of the diagnosis, but emotionally. Kasi I think it's a different things eh. Meron kasing tao na na-accept pero deep inside hindi niya matanggap, na ayaw niya malaman ng iba na may cancer siya, ayaw niya mag-share kasi may cancer siya. So ganing feeling.
Anybody would like to answer that question? That's a very important question.
Yeah, kasi acceptance.
Pwede ko pong sagutin.
Sige, ready.
Right.
Sa akin, na-diagnose ako February. It was an Ash Wednesday, February. So, sabi ng doktor, may bukol. Pumunta ka agad sa isang oncologist. Hindi po ako agad pumunta sa isang oncologist. Inano ko muna yung sarili ko. Yung kailangan whether it is cancer or not, kailangan may kailangan ma-accept ko kung ano man. So when I visited si Dr. Joson, May na po yun eh, May. Inano niya ako, needle
Biopsy.
needle biopsy. So doon niya na but meron po kayong sinabing level, yung result noon may level 1, level 2, level 3, yung highly suspicious, definite. Sa akin, yung result, highly suspicious. So, noon pa lang, yung February to May, ano na po ako noon? Inaccept ko na whether it is cancer or not, inaccept ko na may cancer ako. So, nung tinanong niyo po ako, na ano mo ba kung anong ibig sabihin nitong invasive ductal carcinoma? Yes, doc, cancer. So madali na po sa akin yung so it took February, March, April, May. So parang 4 months. So nung sinabi ninyong pinag-decide nyo pa akong ang treatment is operation, mastectomy. Kahit na po yun, medyo nag-aano ako kasi first time kong ma-opera. Pero inaccept ko na rin. So naging easy sa akin yung pag-accept. So naintindihan ko na yung invasive ductal carcinoma. So in between, yung mga yun, nagbasa-basa na rin ako. So more or less, may idea na ako kung ano yung kinakaharap ko. So kung tinatanong ni Ate Beth na how long, yun, mga 4 months. Kaya nung sinabi na ni Doc Hoson yung treatment, ano na ako noon, sure na ako, accepted ko na kung ano man ang mangyari. So, sabi mastectomy, yun ang treatment, and then and following So yun po, yun ang sagot ko, Ate Beth. Mga 4.
Okay. Anybody else would like to answer the question of Beth? Volunteer? Acceptance. I think may mga yung period, tinatanong ni Beth yung period, it will vary, no? It will vary from person to person, no? Like we cannot hello. Okay. So it will vary, no? Depending on the personality of the person, the mindset, and also the family support. No?
Yeah. So, tama po yun.
Okay. So one instance in which I can say the moment you agree to have the treatment, somehow there's some sort of an acceptance already. Tinanggap mo na yung diagnosis, di ba? So magpapagamot ka na. Because I've seen quite a number of patients also, ayaw talaga magpa-opera, ayaw magpagamot. No? Kahit na diagnose ng breast cancer na, okay, cancer, no? Okay. So that means hindi pa sila, they cannot accept it yet, di ba? Okay. So pag nagpa-opera siya, medyo somehow may acceptance na konti, no? Yun how full is the acceptance, nobody knows, no? Siya lang, no? Okay. And then after the treatment, no, pag sumusunod siya sa mga payo ng doktor, more or less mag-i-increase na yung acceptance niya, no? Okay. So over the years, no, let's say especially after 1 year, 2 years of remission, walang so medyo yung degree of acceptance ay tumataas na, di ba? So may gradation siya no? Kasi alam natin that cancer is full of uncertainties, no? Nobody can guarantee hindi siya magre-recur, no? Even after treatment. Kaya palaging meron siyang may doubt pa rin, no? Kung talagang mag-cure siya o yung acceptance, no? Okay. So it will depend on the personality, it will depend on the mindset and different phases also, no? Okay. On diagnosis, no? Kaya may sinasabi ng may a psychologist mentioned about the 5 stages of death, yung mga ganon, denial, anger, no? Di ba? Yung mga ganon, bargaining, no? Okay. So di ba? Yung 5 stages, I forgot if the last one is acceptance, di ba? The last one is acceptance. So dadaan siya doon sa denial, anger, ano yung pang-apat?
Girl.
Bargaining. Mag-bargain pa siya, di ba? Okay, ganoon. So, but even after sinabi na inaccept na niya because nagpagamot na siya, there'll be somehow meron pa naglilinger na ano, baka hindi ko ma-fully accept pa ito, no? Ganoon, no? So, habang tumatagal, ma-accept na yan, no? Okay. So I suppose Ray is fully accepted mo na by this time, 33 years ka na eh. Di ba? Okay. So si Christine, natanggap mo na, Christine?
Doctor, ano, yung acceptance until now, hindi pa talaga totally, pero I'm there na. Kumbaga on the process na ako na ina-accept ko unti-unti. Kasi may times pa rin na medyo nade-depress pa rin ako. Pero yun nga, katulad ng ginagawa ko, coping ko is yung singing nga, nakanta ko, di ba? I told you, Doctor. Yun yung coping ko na doon ko nilalabas lahat. Yung pag na-depress ako, kumakanta ako, at least doon na ilalabas ko lahat. So yun, meron pa rin. On the process pa rin ako, Doc. On the process pa rin ako ng acceptance.
Okay. So as I said, ano yan, depende sa time yan eh, no? Okay. So time bound yan, di ba? Okay. So I don't know. And I don't know whether I'm doing is correct. Kasi when I said 10 years, kaya ginawa kong 10 years to consider patients as cancer survivor, just also to promote acceptance na wala nang masyadong worry, di ba? Okay. Okay. So, but we know that no doctors will guarantee cure. They want say cure, no? For me, kung pag naka 10 years ka na, pwede na para to help the patient psychologically, no? Okay. Pag naka 10 years ka na, medyo dapat fully accepted mo na, no? Okay. Okay. Any more? Yung coping, yung singing ni Christine, okay, we can put that as part of another strategy in coping, no? Okay. So I don't know whether it's a major coping strategy. Parang nililibang mo sarili mo, dinideviate mo, di ba? Okay, ang attention mo to other things, di ba? Okay. But that's also true for any kind of depression, di ba? Not only for cancer, no? So anxiety.
Tsaka, Doctor, kasi yung naman parang ganun yung mga nagbo-boost up yung confidence ko na ay gagalingan ko susunod mag-aano pa ako, parang yung will to parang tuloy-tuloy yung sarili kong parang life ganun.
If I have to tie it up with the intentional living plan, sa intentional living plan mo, you can in place there, you want to keep yourself productive all the time, di ba? So productive or you can say busy and productive with so many things, walang palaging tulog ng tulog, no? Okay. So try to have some goals, some output. So in a way, it's deviating. Parang dinideviate mo yung possible anxiety moments mo, di ba? Ganun. Keep yourself busy, no? Okay. So ganun din. So other tactics would be to talk to other people, di ba? When you are depressed, when you are I think the best people to talk to will be patients with cancer also, di ba? Okay, but kung wala namang cancer patients, you can talk to your relatives, to other people who will understand you, okay, who will empathize with you, no? Okay. Okay. Any more comments, additional comments? Sinong nag-type nito? Okay. Husta. Okay. Anybody see this sharing by Maria Justa Polotan? What cancer cannot do? Cancer is so limited. It cannot cripple love. It cannot shatter hope. It cannot corrode faith. It cannot destroy peace. It cannot kill friendship. It cannot suppress memories. It cannot silence courage. It cannot invade the soul. It cannot steal eternal life. It cannot conquer the spirit. Okay. So that's one way of boosting your morale. Okay. Think of those mga quotes. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Maria Polotan. Okay. Any other? So if there are no more comments, sharing, we can call this a day. It's already 3:10. No? Okay. Okay. So we will have the a request lang, those who have not filled up the feedback form of the Cancer Crusaders Club last time, no? Paki-fill up lang, no? As I just had 16 who filled up the form, na-accomplish the forms, no? Kung pwede pang iba, no? Especially those who attended, no? And then we will have the last pep talk for the year next Saturday. That's anong petsa yun? 17. 17. So the topic will be simple. Just talk about firecrackers and burn injuries, no? Because usually sa December yan ang common problem, no? Okay? So last talk na yon next week, no? And then we will resume January na, no? Okay?
Okay po.
Okay. So let's call it a day. Thank you for attending.
Good din, Doc.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you, Doc.
Salamat
Bye-bye.
po.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doc. Happy weekend. Bye-bye.
Happy weekend also.
Mula sa ABS-CBN,
Thank
ang isa
you.
sa mga itinanong kay Boy Abunda, lalo pa at ngayon lamang siyang muling nakita ng personal